2023. Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Commissioner Casper.
Present.
Commissioner Heiken.
Here.
Commissioner Sprague is here. Commissioner Riles.
Here.
Commissioner Meyer.
Here.
Chairman Johnson.
Here. Oh, welcome back, everybody. Hope you enjoyed your month off. We can get back to business now. Ms. Nyes, any changes to the agenda?
No changes.
And we have no citizens' concerns and comments. All right, and no consent items, so we'll get right into it. Docket PSP MIN 230029. Request for minor site plan and building appearance for Kids Island Learning Center 3 at 135 North Milwaukee Avenue. Ms. Nyes?
Okay, so this project was before us a couple months ago for a special use, and that was granted. So they had a special use for a daycare facility, and at that point they didn't have the plans just ready for this playground, so they had to come back for the minor site plan and appearance approval to do the playground and, well, anything exterior to the building. So we did have a couple things I wanted to go over. So the main thing is that they want to put a playground on this open area on the north side of the building, and then they're going to be installing a new fence pretty much around the whole property, but the main fence that planning was concerned with was this fence that's coming along Milwaukee Avenue. As Milwaukee Avenue is the main corridor in the village, and we wanted to make sure that the fence matched with this building. So one of the conditions, a couple of the conditions, one had to do with filling in these planters that were along the Milwaukee Avenue side of the building. So these are the planters we were talking about. And matching the columns on the building. This was what we were talking about with regards to the red brick and the concrete on the bottom. Here's the enclosure that's on the north side of the property. This is the utility enclosure. And here's the enclosure on the south side of the property. This is the trash enclosure. Staff is recommending that both of these be replaced with the same Trex composite fencing that's proposed for the rest of the property, for the rest of the fencing that's going on around the playground and on the north and east side of the property. One other thing I wanted to point out, because I know it's going to come up, one of the conditions is about a fence panel being flush with the building. It's condition number 3, and I'll read them all in a minute. But when we get to it, so here's the building on the right side. It says existing masonry building over here. This is to scale, so this is exactly how it will lay out, where there's one fence panel, and then one column, and then 2 panels, and then 1 column, and then 2 panels. This is exactly how it lays out. So it turns out that there might be this one skinny little post here next to the building. So staff would just like, if that post needs to be there, if the fence panel can't go and be connected directly to the building, that fence post just needs to be flipped around behind the fence panel so that it can't be seen from Milwaukee. So that's what this, that comment is about. So do you want me to go ahead and read the conditions that staff has proposed?
Might as well.
Okay, so, and that kind of encompasses all of the comments that we have. So number 1 is flat posts shall be used on the proposed fence, and that's in regards to the little caps that are on top of these fence posts. I think on the plans it was maybe showing diamond shaped ones, so we wanted flat post caps. Number 2, all planter boxes located along the Milwaukee Avenue frontage in the west side of the building shall be planted with vegetation by May 15th, 2024 for the portion of the building to be occupied by the petitioner. Number 3, this is the fence post I was just talking about. The new fence panels along the Milwaukee Avenue frontage shall be installed flush with the building. If a post is required, it shall be installed concealed behind the fence panel. Number 4, no landscaping shall be removed from the property or the adjacent properties for installation of the fencing. Number 5, both enclosures shall be replaced with the same Trex composite fencing. Number 6, the petitioner shall apply for and receive a building permit from the Community Development Department prior to construction of the site improvements authorized herein, and all such improvements shall be completed and pass all village inspections prior to receiving a wheeling business license.
Thank you. Is the petitioner here? Come on up. Please state your name and business address for the record.
Sure. Victor Drapshaw, licensed architect, 2123 North Damon, Chicago, Illinois.
Thank you. And are you two gentlemen going to be speaking?
Chris Zapanik, owner of the property.
General contractor, Christian.
Get a little closer.
General contractor,
Okay,
Christian.
thank you. All right. Well, you heard most of the staff comments.
So, I mean, I think we would like to address maybe at least the enclosures for the trash enclosure and the electrical transformer enclosures. I mean, the existing fence that is there, it's, as you can see, it's, I guess, it was redone recently. See the gate over there especially, and the rest of the fence that is there, it looks like that was probably original to the construction of that whole facility. We would see no sense of changing that at this point. I mean, it's especially when it's in the back of the property, it's not visible from the street. It is just a utility area that is visible on a parking lot. So we would like to see if we could, just continue utilizing the existing structure as is.
Okay, anything else about the project?
I think that would be the only thing. Yeah.
What about the fence post thing?
From the fence post that you're referring to that is abutting the building itself, I think we could make that work if that is like we said, if that's the company is able to install it that way. I don't see that as a problem.
Okay. All right, anything else from any of you?
Is that the playground project itself, permit for playground, holding the permits for a remodeling, is it two not connected at all together? So I'm just wondering why we cannot receive the permits from the village about the remodeling, because the playground is a totally separate permit.
Yeah, those, one is not holding up the other. The permits are still being reviewed. It's my understanding they're still going through
It's been reviewed for
comments.
several months already.
You're talking
I don't
about
know why.
the inside remodeling?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
they're
why
still
they've been
being
holding
reviewed.
back though.
Yeah, it's my understanding that you guys
But
have
your
been responding
department
to
been
the
reviewing
comments
it for a
from
couple of
the,
months already, and going back and forward
Yeah, it's
with
with
the
the
minor
building and-
stuff. And the lady, last time we didn't hear it for like more than a month from your department. We don't know where we're standing on that one. So that's I'm curious.
yeah, it's my understanding you're going back and forth with the building inspector.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right, for building and electrical and plumbing and those things.
Correct, but just the response time is what we're worried about. Is we're not aware if that was intertwined somehow with this approval or not, and that's why it was just taking so long to get the responses from the building department.
No, we had given everything. I know you had different people contacting us, and your wife had come in a couple times, and we had talked to her, and then the architect had come in a couple times, And so we had given everybody the information we needed. The information we received back was more for the special use again, and it was not the site plan material that we needed, and it was not about the fence that me and you had discussed with Assistant Director Robles, so it was not the same stuff, but this is totally separate from your building permit. The building permit has been moving forward, and you've been going back and forth with B&F, our outside contractor, and with inside review staff. So that is not.
I understand.
This is not holding that up. They've both been moving forward, and we've been providing comments back, and
Okay.
I don't.
Can you elaborate a little bit? I think at the end you mentioned that this approval is contingent on these changes, which we agree. But his license will be, he would be allowed to occupy and actually start his work after the completion of the entire requests. I couldn't understand because like the planting time, you said it was May, right? So,
Yes.
so would that hold up his,
No, that's
way of
just,
starting the
no, we
business.
understand that you can't plant now.
Right.
So we make that the condition that you have to do it by May of next year. So
Okay.
that doesn't hold anything
so,
up.
so if we'll get the approval from the building department, by grace of you getting this approval as
But
well?
this has nothing to do,
And-
you still have to satisfy
Sure.
whatever's going on with
True.
your building,
Yes.
on the building.
So, and then once they complete their work and get occupancy, and then they could continue with the.
Yeah, so you have your building permit that your architect, whoever is getting those.
Yeah, that's
you know,
us.
Right, okay, you're getting those done, and then your zoning will hopefully be approved tonight. And then, once you have your building permit done, I believe you already have your business license applied for. You just have to have your DCFS approval, and then I believe you'll be able to get that as
I
well.
mean, we can't do anything without building permits to do remodeling. We can order a state fire marshal to come over. We can get DCFS to come over because
Yeah,
we
that
didn't
all
do
has to do
remodeling.
with your architect then.
And lately, the response from the village was related to the playground, not to the comments on the prints was related to the playground, not to the actually
no.
remodeling. So how come those two related together?
Right,
That's where
so
I'm kind of concerned.
what you see on your comment letter is you'll see fire has comments, you'll see engineering has comments, and then you see building has comments, and then you see planning has comments. And so planning's comments are, we can't sign off until you get your zoning sign off. And so that's here. So that'll be tonight, you'll get your zoning sign off, you're done. You still have to satisfy everybody else's conditions.
Which were.
So this really isn't holding anything up because you still have all those other,
Which were addressed. We did address it.
right, you still don't have your building permit, it's not being held up for this.
But you just did mention that it's the planning review.
Right, but this isn't the last thing.
Well, the
My
planning,
understanding,
we'll
you
just
don't
say-
have sign
we'll
off
just say if
from,
we have all the engineering.
it's my understanding you don't have approval from B&F yet,
Okay,
so.
all right.
I'm confused when you mentioned zoning being approved tonight.
Like, planning commission,
Oh,
sorry.
okay.
So is it when we talk about it for a building permit, we can consider it a zoning approval.
Okay.
So I review things for zoning approval, but then it comes through the plan commission as this.
Yeah, I didn't think we had any
Sorry.
zoning issues.
No, sorry, we just call
Okay.
it zoning.
All right, well, let's see what the commission has to say. Commissioner Meyer.
Hi, just a couple questions. I looked at the drawings and I noticed that in the playground area, there are some existing planters that will remain, is that correct?
I think that was, hold on one second. So,
They will be removed, yes.
It'll
So
be
the-
removed?
Yes, otherwise they will be obstacle for kids. to
Yeah,
play
well,
on. Yeah.
that's why I'm asking, okay.
Rest of them will stay on, surrounding the building, rest of them.
Right, right, but there's that one kind of off to the,
Correct.
okay, thank you. And then with your synthetic turf, okay, my understanding is that has some drainage properties, Have you looked at that relative to the concrete pavers that are there right now, just to make sure you don't have any drainage issues going
Yeah, so
forward?
what that usually does, it has like a floating membrane underneath it, and it just allows the water to
Dissipate.
disperse as it goes.
Okay, fair enough. And then, similar to the recommendation, relative to the trash enclosures, even though it is in the back of the building, it is visible from other neighboring properties. So I would like to see, that changed in accordance with the recommendation for the Trex composite.
All right.
That's all. Thank you.
Commissioner Riles.
Thank you. Good evening, gentlemen. I kind of echo what's been stated, and I want to, I guess, for you to reiterate why you believe that the trash enclosure should stay as is moving forward.
Sure. So originally, this building was, I guess, constructed, a few years back. This must have gone through this committee as well, right? So, and it was approved as we see it. So, I think that's actually a hardship and a burden on the new tenant to fix whatever wasn't addressed originally with that other permit, original permit. So, and it's an existing condition, people do see it all the time, it's, hasn't changed, so I understand it would look probably nicer with something new, but, it's a burden on the new tenant to put that on him, to fix it, instead of that should have been addressed originally with the original permit.
No, I understand, and of course, as you well know, probably many of us here had no decision regarding that in the past, right? Just from a business perspective, an owner, if you're making all these adjustments and improvements for your business, my opinion, I would want to adjust that and make it appropriate. I think from what I see here, it is an eyesore. And despite the fact that it's behind the business, you're going to have people coming in and out of your business, and they're going to see this. I understand it may possibly be a hardship, I get it, but you're in business, and the idea is to make your business as appropriate as you possibly can, not only for yourself, your staff, but the people that you serve, and of course the community that you serve.
I absolutely agree with you. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the same material that's going to be on a panel. I just don't want it permits to be halted any longer. I just want to move on with the project.
Okay. I think that's fair enough, but I certainly believe you should move forward to make it not an eyesore. Gentlemen, thank you.
Commissioner Sprague.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening. Yeah, I agree with both the commissioners about the enclosures. The only other question I had is the enclosure that the utilities is inside of. There's a lot of junk inside that. Is that something that you can clean up?
Everything will be removed and all the debris will be hauled away.
And how about the ivy that's growing all over the fence?
That's going to be cleaned too.
Okay, good.
Before the final approval, everything will be done.
Great, that sounds good. Thank you. That's all I have then. Thank you.
All right. Commissioner Hyken.
Yeah, I concur as well with the trash enclosure. When you were here in June or July,
Yes.
we talked about bollards in front of the playground. Whatever happened with that?
I think Mr. Nate can say more about it because there was her idea that original that she didn't want them being there.
Who is she?
I mean, that Mrs.
Okay,
Nate.
so village didn't want it. Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I have. Thank you.
No,
You want to clarify?
Well, staff said if, we're fine with the bollards, if you want to put bollards out there, they would just have to be concealed with landscaping.
That's
Where are you talking about, these?
No, they had initially proposed bollards on the west side along Milwaukee Avenue. So staff had thought that with the brick pillars, that would be enough for protection. The petitioner wanted additional bollards along Milwaukee Avenue, and we said that that would require additional landscaping, and we didn't require the bollards, but
That's fine. I didn't know
Okay.
that. That's fine. That's all I have. Thank you.
Commissioner Casper.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, gentlemen. I'm not piling on, but I can see both sides of the issue with respect to the enclosures. Can you just tell us ballpark how much it would cost to redo both of those enclosures?
10, 15 maybe, so.
Additional?
Yeah,
Yeah,
additional.
I mean, because you look at footings.
Yeah,
the
footings and everything,
materials.
so, yeah, between 15 and 20, I would say.
15 and 20,000?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. That was my only question.
Gotcha.
All right. Let's see, we covered the fence. All right, as far as the enclosures, and I understand, we don't want to hold you up on this, and we can probably offer some, a little bit of relief by not making it necessary to do before you get your final permit. Am I correct?
that's correct.
We could say, by next summer or something that you do this and get those replaced?
Can we agree on when we're going to plant some vegetation during the May, I believe, that's what was
Yeah.
stated? Can we do it by then?
Do the enclosures by
Yes.
then? I think we could agree to that. That way, you don't have to worry about those before you get everything else done.
Thank you.
And, I concur with the others that they should be replaced because they're not visible from Milwaukee, but they're visible to every one of your customers because of the layout of that building. So, can we modify that condition?
Yeah, I'm trying.
Okay.
So it currently says both enclosures shall be replaced with the same composite Trexing, and I'll say by May 15th, 2024.
Is that good? It's going to be a temporary occupancy permit until I replace that, or it's going to be
It would probably be temporary,
It's okay.
but it would be temporary anyhow because of the,
Because
Well-
the reason I'm asking, I just don't want to run into some other issues down the road when once, let's say I don't have enough funding and I'm not going to have any more occupancy permit because I'm going to run out of the time,
Right.
even a couple of weeks or just.
yeah, that's how it's normally done
So it's,
on a temporary CO until everything is,
so even the
permit.
landscaping would,
yes, we don't issue final COs until landscaping is completed.
okay, so you got a temporary anyways because it's dependent on that landscaping getting done next spring. But you can fully operate as long as you keep that in mind that it's got to get done. Okay? So, did we change any of the other conditions? I don't think so. All right, anyone have any other questions on the commission?
No?
Nope. All right, then with the conditions as we know them now, the only one changing was,
I'm sorry, I got one more.
Sure.
One more little thing. That's for village part. The whole building, the front of the building between Milwaukee Avenue and the building, those are the tall trees, line of the whole tall trees. As we can see
yeah.
on the picture, they're actually leaning towards over Milwaukee and leaning on my building. I'm just wondering if the village can, delegate even contractor. I can pay for it, so someone can trim that and just make the building more visible, and because it's a pretty building.
Sure.
And you guys worry about that thing to be in a good shape, but now it's actually covered with the trees. So
Yeah, I can reach out to Public Works because they're public
those are,
street trees.
those are village trees?
thank you.
Yeah, we can ask them to get those trimmed up and looking better.
Yep, I can do that tomorrow.
All right. Anything else? All right, then I would ask for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Oh, we
I'll
got-
second.
Got both ends, okay.
Casper and Meyer.
Casper and Meyer.
Who was it, Casper?
Casper, motion, yes. Commissioner Casper,
Yes.
Commissioner Meyer,
Yes.
Commissioner Heiken,
Yes.
Commissioner Sprague is a yes, Commissioner Riles,
Yes.
Chairman Johnson.
Yes. All right, gentlemen, well, hopefully we'll get, the village guys will get your permits going and
Yep, so, yeah, whatever's going on with the building department, you just got to keep working with them. So, you know, our part here is done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you.
Good evening, thank you.
All right, next up, we have PSP MIN 230030. Request for minor appearance approval for exterior modifications to existing self-storage buildings and public storage, 900 South Milwaukee. Ms. Nyes, anything?
Oh, you can come up.
Yeah.
Well, I think this one is self-explanatory. Staff did not have any conditions, so I think we'll just turn this one over.
So what is it you want to do or have already done?
We just want to improve the aesthetics of the property.
Oh, could you state your name first?
Oh, yeah,
Thank
sorry.
you.
My name is Van Chu, Asset Manager for Public Storage.
Thank you.
All right, so you're just
We're just trying to update the aesthetics of the property, mainly paint.
new corporate colors?
New corporate colors, yeah, PS orange, moth gray, and winter mood. So it should improve the exterior appearance.
And is that all the garage doors too?
No, it's mainly the striping out front, the building,
Oop.
the office elevations, and sometimes we do the doors, but they're in pretty good shape, so we're not going to paint the doors here. But it's mainly the office area.
All right. Commissioner Casper, any questions?
No questions, but orange is my favorite color.
Great.
Commissioner Heiken, it looks like it's one of yours too.
I have no questions, I only have proof, yes.
Commissioner Sprague.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My only question is this all been completed already?
Has not.
Your painting on the building, hasn't that been done?
Well, it's mainly for the office building, but it should only take a couple days, really. Because the crews we use are very fast.
You painted all the storage units already?
The storage, like the individual units?
Where all the units are?
No.
That's
Those
not
are not
painted?
being painted. No.
Well, it used to have a purple stripe down the trim.
The trim, yeah, around the, you can see on the, it's really the top band that we're replacing with the orange. It's more of a vibrant
And
orange.
that has already been done then?
I don't believe so.
This was just taken.
You didn't Photoshop it, right?
I did not Photoshop it.
That is fresh paint.
It looks like the building is still super white, so the building would be, I think, this cream color, or one of these colors.
It would be the winter
It is.
mood.
Yeah, so I think maybe the building still needs to be
No,
painted?
they're cream.
There?
Yeah,
Okay.
I've been there.
You been there?
It's all done.
Okay. I was not aware of that, to be honest with you.
Usually you come here,
You come here first to get the
First, right,
approval, and then we
yeah.
paint, but maybe we did it backwards.
it's all done.
Okay. Well, I apologize. I was not aware of that fact.
Next time, come here first.
Gotcha.
That's all I have, thanks.
Okay. Commissioner Riles, anything?
Thank you, no questions.
And Commissioner Meyer?
I had the same comment as Commissioner Sprague. When I drove past, it looked like it had already been done, so.
Okay, well, maybe that's why they sent me here. 'cause they know.
I appreciate your comprehensive signage package, though. That was nicely done. But in a perfect world, yes, you would come before us and get an approval to proceed. I have no further
Understood.
questions.
Understood.
And we're not doing anything with signage right now.
No, they've actually provided some of the permit application materials, but they're just going to reface the pylon sign. So just to reface it, they won't have to come back here. So, yeah, they should, you
All right.
won't see them again.
Let's see, we have no conditions. I don't think we have any other questions. So a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Sprague is a yes, it looks great.
Thank you.
Commissioner Meyer?
Looks great. Approved.
Commissioner Casper?
Yes.
Commissioner Heiken?
Yes.
Commissioner Riles?
Yes.
Chairman Johnson?
Yes.
Well, since you don't need a permit to paint, and it's already done, that's approved. So then we'll just work with your sign contractor and get those signs permitted.
Okay,
So,
great. Thank you all.
yeah.
Thanks.
Yep, have a good night.
Okay, next up, PSP MIN 23-0034. Request for minor site plan and building appearance approval for the installation of a new above-ground storage tank for slide products at 430 Wheeling Road. Ms. Nice?
Okay, so Slide was, oh no, they weren't here. They recently consolidated their two parcels, but that just went to the village board. So they have these two properties, if you look where my cursor is, and here they are. So there's two buildings on their property. So they just combined the two properties, so now it's just one big property. Anyhow, there's this existing tank farm down here, and where you see this open area, they would like to put a new above-ground storage tank, 10,000-gallon double-walled above-ground storage tank. It'll be about 10 feet high. Here's what it looks like from kind of the road. There's already an existing fence, so staff is fine with that being the necessary screening and does not think any additional screening is required. And staff does not have any conditions proposed.
All right. Come on up.
Good evening.
State your name and musiness address.
My name is Michael Muth. I'm the president of Slide Products.
Thank you. I'm going to start out with one question. In the write-up, it talks about 4 tanks, and clearly you have like 12 already there.
I think we have 11 there now. I'm not sure what
Okay.
you're referencing when you talk about 4 tanks. We have 4 solvent tanks.
Okay.
And then we have propellant gas tanks. They're all in the same footprint tank
Okay,
farm
'cause, yeah.
as Marcy referred to it. So we have 4 solvent tanks. We're adding a new one. It's the first edition since
Propellant tanks
1970.
are just compressed gas?
They're liquefied gases, yep.
Okay.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah, so basically, on that image, everything on the right side are the propellant gas tanks. The solvent tanks are going to be primarily on the left side, so this will align with the existing solvent tank
Okay.
layout.
All right. Anything else you want to say before we ask the commissioners?
Just, we're growing, need to expand.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah, exactly. So the property consolidation was one part of it. This is another part of it. We need to expand to be able to keep servicing our customers.
Good. All right. Commissioner Meyer.
I did not have any questions. Thank you.
Commissioner Riles.
Thank you. I don't have any questions. Thank you.
Commissioner Sprague.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening.
Good evening.
Do you feel as though there's any need for bollards on the, what would that be, the north side?
We actually
Do you
already
have them there?
installed bollards. The concrete poles?
Yes.
Yes. 'Cause I
Okay.
know what just happened over at Vapor Bus.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So I sent that article to our operations manager and said, this is why.
Yeah.
So we do actually have, so you see we have bollards straight ahead. That's where the trucks basically pull in and then we open a fence and they fill through.
Yeah,
Now,
what-
but we've actually added bollards where that car is there.
Yeah, that's what I'm
There's
concerned
4
about.
bollards,
Okay.
concrete filled, 4 5-foot tall bollards. They're there.
Okay,
Yep.
all right, good.
Yep,
And
yep.
my only other question is the fire department satisfied with their safety protocols for this hazardous material?
Yes, we've been into their facility, and they run a well-organized organization, and everything, they always meet the safety standards. The plan review has gone to the state of Illinois, the state fire marshal, it's gone for a third-party review, and our review, and it all meets code.
Fantastic, great. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Heiken.
No questions. Thank you for staying in Wheeling.
Commissioner
Thank you for letting us
Casper.
stay in here.
No questions.
And I have no further questions. We have no conditions.
No.
So we move right on to motion unless somebody else has questions.
So moved.
Second.
Heiken.
Meyer, Heiken. Commissioner Meyer.
Yes.
Commissioner Heiken.
Yes.
Commissioner Casper.
Yes?
Commissioner Sprague is a yes. Commissioner Riles.
Yes.
Chairman Johnson.
Yes.
Okay, so you are done with this part of your project.
I'll be back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Next, we have PSP MAJ, a major 23-0004. Request for major site plan and building appearance approval for construction of new building and related improvements for Northwest Mosquito Abatement District at 147 West Hintz. Ms. Nice.
Okay, the petitioners are here, but I'll just give a brief overview and some of our comments. So they currently have 4 buildings on site, this front office and this maintenance building. They're gonna take down and rebuild a building in their place. And then they're gonna have a new parking lot on this east side of the building and then some new parking out front. So we've worked with them, we've gone back and forth, we've worked on landscaping, elevations, the site plan. And so, let's see, the only thing that we had a condition on was, and I think it's, the petitioner would like to discuss is the requirement for the sidewalk. So staff had requested a sidewalk extend across the front of the property. So there's a sidewalk on the east, the property to the east, there's a sidewalk across the north, but there's no sidewalk on this property, and there's no sidewalk on the property to the west, which is ComEd property, and then the railroad track. So it's up for Plan Commission to decide if they would like to keep that condition or not. Staff does have a proposed condition that a public sidewalk shall be required and included within the scope of the proposed site improvements. Said sidewalk shall be constructed in compliance with Wheeling standards and shall extend across the entire property frontage along Hintz Road. The only other condition was related to the irrigation plan. An irrigation plan shall be submitted to Community Development Department for review and approval with the building permit application. That's standard with any commercial development. We just want to make sure it's in the code to make sure that the landscaping survives. So if you guys want to come up, I have all your plans here. Just let me know where you want me to.
Great, thanks.
Or there should be a mouse up there, but you can want to flip around. Just let us know
Over here,
who you
good.
are before
Perfect.
you talk.
So I'm John Swerk, I'm president of DDCA Architects. I have Tim Larkin with us, he's the project manager with DDCA Architects, and James Tenish with the Northwest Mosquito Abatement District, he's the director. To the best of my knowledge, this has not been built yet.
Or painted.
So basically, is it just scroll down to get to the next page? Great. The existing facility is there now is, obviously it looks like an old house, I'm not sure how to have that design. We're going to demolish that. These rear maintenance area garages are a series of additions, really run down, falling apart. That back building that's got the open lights in it, that will remain. That's basically just a summer truck parking facility. Let me go to a site plan first, it might be a little bit better to. Site plan here somewhere, there it is. So along Hintz Road, there are currently 3 driveways. One where my cursor is, we're going to remove one and keep this one. That front area, if you've ever been by there, that curved driveway, there's no use for it now. there's no place to park or anything. We're not sure why it was ever built that way. So we're basically eliminating a middle curb cut, so you could come in the side, go along, have a few parallel parking spaces, and exit to the east back onto Hintz. The gate for the facility ends up back a little bit, back here. So you've got more public parking spaces. There's not a lot of public access to this building. A couple of board meetings, a few people may show up. For the most part, it's very unattended. But deliveries for FedEx or UPS, now they've got an easy way in, be able to get into the facility and go out. The blue is probably an approximate area of where the existing building is, the office. This area is going to be expanded office, which is about 5,000 square feet. The existing building has a basement, which we will keep as storage only, and some mechanicals are down there. And in the back area, you can see this pink is a larger garage area, mostly storage of vehicles. And when you get down to the end here, there's some interior maintenance facility for truck maintenance, no major body work or anything like that. And as far as the facility looks, this is looking basically from Hintz Road looking west. Again, a couple parallel parking spaces for visitors, a main building entrance. Right now, there's really no main building entrance. This is office space. This is a stone material on the bottom. We've got samples. Bottom is stone, hardy board, architectural flat metal panel, and an architectural panel on the top. I can show you those pieces. Those stones are a mix of a blend of different color stone. The fascia panel, that's the gray looking there, it's an architectural finish panel. Hardy board, although not painted green, between the windows this will be green. Above the office area, this is a corrugated panel. And I know a lot of nurses go through many cities, and everyone says no metal panels. Well, they think it's the old metal panels of what we're tearing down. With the energy code, products we're living very familiar, is an insulated metal panel. Meets the energy code. It's very durable, and even architecturally, a lot of people are using this architectural look. So that's what that panel is, in the color green, that you see there. And in the back area where all those maintenance facilities are, still an insulated panel. It's got very slight corrugation, so when you look at it from 15, 20 feet away, it looks like a flat precast panel. We go to communities where they say we only want precast, we can get this approved. These are 42-inch wide panels, full height, and they meet the insulation. And the roofs are basically the same panel, except it's a standing seam roof. So you have, inside is also finished and washable, which the old metal buildings where you got the insulation that falls apart, it's very hard to wash. So it's all hopefully a long-lasting design.
All right.
And the back, and in the back, there's employee entrances that is also kind of nicely rendered. And the back is basically just garage doors and interior parking. I think there's a plan here. We've got lighting photometrics. We've done those. I may have passed them already. Yeah, landscape plan we have, and that's been looked at. Yeah, I guess that's, I did have a photometric here.
Yeah, it was earlier on. There we go.
Right there. Yeah, so we have the photometrics that shows we meet, as well as like the highlight photo of it. That's really it. If you have any questions, we're here to hopefully answer them.
All right.
Oh, and we do want to obviously, let me address that sidewalk. It's really obviously somewhat a little bit of a cost issue, but I look at it more of a safety issue. If you put a sidewalk across here, it's a 120-foot ComEd easement before you get to the tracks. And then if you get to the tracks, there's no crossing across the tracks yet. And the other side has that, although I don't think there's actually a gate yet at the pedestrian sidewalk. So it still is kind of a dangerous spot. And so we would try to ask that we don't have to put that sidewalk in. but we do the irrigation, is not a problem.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right, let's start the other end. Commissioner Casper.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening. Will you have to relocate your operations while the construction is going on?
Yes.
Or are you all going to just go down to the basement?
They've already relocated temporarily.
Okay.
They're temporarily in Rolling Meadows currently.
Okay, how long do you think all this construction will take?
We're planning on about 18 months.
Wow.
Right.
Max, 18 months.
Okay. Great. That's all I have.
Thank you. Commissioner Heiken?
I have no questions. Sidewalk does continue on the other side. I would like to see a sidewalk through there, but that's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, we don't have a picture of that sidewalk, do we? Oh, across the street. So it's different because across the street it actually goes to the tracks and there's actual
It
crossing.
actually goes over the tracks and then continues on
Right.
further.
Yeah.
So from the edge of our property, right there. So from the edge of our property here, I don't know who would ever pay to put that walk in and get across the tracks. And if we put it in there now, we're going to have a 4 to 5 foot drop onto the comment property. Where it's almost like a dangerous thing as far as I'm thinking, but again, it's just a request of this commission.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Commissioner Sprague.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening. So I have a question for staff. What are the odds of ComEd and/or the railroad putting in a sidewalk on that side?
Probably slim to none.
And would there be any possibility of having a crosswalk put in on Hintz Road where the east sidewalk ends to connect, being able to go over the tracks?
You're thinking right here, you think? Oh, over here.
So, yeah, either one. I mean, that's a possibility. I know mid-block crossings aren't.
Because, to require them to put a sidewalk in and then ComEd and the railroad not ever putting one in, that's,
Yeah.
I don't see any reason to continue the sidewalk.
And I know it's hard to put it in terms and put it on the property, but if for some reason the Trex get it and ComEd gets it, I think then we would do it. But I know it's really hard to keep track of those conditions.
Right.
But you're always going nowhere and almost dangerous.
Plus the west side of the tracks, there's nothing all the way to the light.
Correct.
So it would be more feasible, in my opinion, it's more feasible to have if we could get a crosswalk put in on Hintz Road to connect the north side, and then that sidewalk goes all the way to the light.
Yeah, I'm not an engineer, IDOT engineer, but that almost seems dangerous.
Yeah, I think maybe because of the speed on Hintz Road, that's kind of dangerous.
And it's 4 lanes.
All right, well, that's all I had. Thank you.
Commissioner Riles.
Thank you. I'm just curious, how much foot traffic on a regular basis daily does it get?
No, it gets very little car traffic.
Very minimal. When the laundry place was there, we did get some workers that would walk by the building. And that laundry service was there, but very minimal.
Yeah, it didn't seem to me that it gets a lot of foot traffic. How many employees do you guys have?
During the winter, in this location, we'd have 15 people there at the most, but in the summertime, we're split up between 3 different locations.
Of 15 people?
15 full-time people, yeah.
Wow, okay.
Seasonal in the summertime or more. For
Sure,
college
sure.
students, yeah.
But the seasonal, they come in the morning, get their tasks for the day and leave.
Mm-hmm.
They're not there overnight.
Gotcha. Okay. No other questions. Thank you.
Commissioner Meyer.
You had indicated, if I heard correctly, no problem providing the irrigation plan?
Correct.
Okay, it was just the sidewalk, and
Right.
I acknowledge some of your points. I had 2 questions. One was just about your internal floor plan. I thought it was curious that your work area didn't seem to have a lot of natural light, and maybe that's just a function of your business?
Right, if it's the work area I'm thinking of,
Because your offices are along the perimeter?
right? Yeah, it's a kind of a, are you thinking, yeah,
Yes, that,
the entrance
it's,
back here?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's, I think mostly the drivers, the truck drivers that come in and leave.
That would be the mechanics area right there. The,
Okay.
Shower room and bathroom and like a lunchroom.
Okay, thank you. That's what I was looking
Got it.
for.
And then the daily workers, like the seasonal, we've got a room here where they can come in and check in. There's bathrooms, lockers, and then they leave for the day.
Yep, okay, thank you very much for that clarification. And then I'm just curious, just relative to your exterior facade of the building, was there any consideration for lightning protection?
No, typically
Okay.
we do not have that.
Okay,
Yeah.
The antenna is grounded. It will be regrounded when it's finished.
Yeah, if you talk about the radio antenna,
It's a
Yeah,
yellow-
yeah.
yellow
That'll be
grounding
grounded.
underneath that antenna.
yeah,
It was put in about 12 years ago, probably for code.
okay,
It'll be redone the same way.
okay, very
the
good.
building's grounded just by building code, but not a lightning protection.
Yeah, understood. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
That's it? All right. Do we know the history of this building? Was it always mosquito
It was built for
abatement?
us 1956.
Oh.
We built it and just continued to add on
So
to it.
you built it looking like a house?
What's that? Yeah, no, the story is it was designed by people that designed funeral homes.
Oh,
That's
that
what it
makes-
looks like.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I did not know that. That's interesting.
Funeral home for mosquitoes. I really like the new design. It looks great. And you put together a really good packet. The issue on the sidewalk, I have to agree with some of my counterparts here that asking you to build a sidewalk that goes nowhere seems to be a burden. I don't know if we can get a crosswalk in somewhere. It may have to be down by the stoplight, But I can't see it just ending at the ComEd property. Wouldn't be much real sidewalk for you guys because you made the driveway bigger,
Right.
but I would concur that the sidewalk is not necessary. But then does it fall into the sidewalk funding thing?
No. We do sidewalk funding when a sidewalk, there's plans already for a sidewalk that's going to be made. So I don't think this would fall into the sidewalk funding, and that's more for a new development.
Okay.
So I think it sounds like most everybody is good without the sidewalk. So do we have to take a vote, Mallory, or should I can just remove it?
Well, we did have one commissioner that said he'd like to see it.
Oh, that's right. So we should probably do a poll.
All right, so, do we require a sidewalk for this project? Commissioner Meyer,
No.
Commissioner Riles,
No.
Commissioner Sprague,
No.
Commissioner Heiken,
No.
Commissioner Casper,
No.
and I say no. So
Okay, I'm deleting.
we will delete that.
And by the way, really nice professional look to this building, kind of when you look at what you have today and what you're proposing. Appreciate your
A lot of it has to do
investment.
with, obviously, with Northwest Mosquito Abatement wants that project, and also Marcy put a lot of effort
And I gotta
into the
say,
design, and she's also been great working through the process.
We actually lost a building in Bartlett, unincorporated Bartlett, to fire, so
Oh.
it's time to make this better.
I gotta
Looks
say,
really
your,
good.
your crew that works over the winter does a great job keeping the mosquitoes away.
All right, I'm good.
All
So
right,
now it's
you're
just
good.
an irrigation plan shall be submitted to the Community Development Department for review and approval with the building permit application.
All right. Any other questions from our group? Nope. And motion to approve.
So moved.
Second?
Meyer, Casper?
Yep.
Commissioner Meyer,
Yes.
Commissioner Casper,
Yes.
Commissioner Heiken,
Yes.
Commissioner Sprague is a yes. Commissioner Riles?
Yes.
Chairman Johnson?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right.
So because this is major site plan, you have to go to the village board.
Yep.
So you're going to go to the village board on November 6th.
Is it a
If
Monday?
that works, yes, Monday, 6:30. Or you could go on November 20th.
Do I have to be there?
You know, but I'm
No.
not here to 60 either.
Okay,
I think just one of you has to be
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, you don't,
It's not going to hurt us for the 20th.
20th would be fine.
you want to go on the 20th?
Yeah.
That'll work for you.
Not too often you get that request. No. To wait a week or two.
You're not that anxious to start tearing it down.
No, I just don't get any time off in the summer, so.
Great.
No, that's true.
But you can, if you haven't submitted building permits
No,
yet.
we will be soon.
Oh, yeah, you can go ahead.
Got it. Understand. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank
All right,
you.
thanks. All right. Next up, we have approval of minutes of the regular meeting way back in September 13th, 2023, including the findings of fact for PSU 23-0010.
So moved.
Motion to approve? Okay. Hyken.
Commissioner Sprague is a yes. Commissioner Heiken?
Yes.
Commissioner Casper?
Yes.
Commissioner Riles?
Yes.
Commissioner Meyer?
Yes.
Chairman Johnson?
Yes. Other business. I'd like to make a reminder to the public that we still have an open seat on this commission. Love to have a new face up here if you're willing to serve your community. And a reminder to the group that our next meeting is next week. We had that month off, so now we got to pay for it. No, because of November and December with the holidays, we annually move it up a week. So Marcy will be sending out a new packet tomorrow, probably.
Yes.
All right, Commissioner Meyer, any new business?
Nothing, thank you.
Mr. Riles?
No, thank you.
Mr. Sprague?
Nothing for me, thank you.
Commissioner Heiken?
Nothing for me, thank you.
Commissioner Casper?
Nothing.
Ms. Nyes? Come on, you must have something.
Well, I don't think I do. You know, Union Apartments is moving along. They have, I think people must have started moving in already. Do you know, have people moved in?
Yeah, tenants are in.
Tenants are in. It looks really nice out there. So, there, that's a good
Be
update.
nice to get a chance to get over there and see it if we can
yeah.
work something out.
Yeah, maybe spring tour?
Yeah,
No winter tour?
unless they're having a ribbon cutting or something.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
know
Have
if
you
they-
heard about ribbon
No.
cutting?
Yeah.
No ribbon cutting?
Nothing about that.
Yeah, they just, and it looks really nice. They did a really good job on their landscaping and everything. It looks really nice. If you haven't been out there, you should go drive by.
Anything from the fire department? What's been happening?
Station's moving along.
Yeah?
So they got half of the concrete poured, let that cure, and then they'll get the other half of the apron done, and it's under roof and should be buttoned up, you know, before winter and everything. And then they'll just do the interior. I think they're hoping by March to have that open.
All right. If there's nothing else, then how about a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Heiken?
Meyer Heiken?
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approve, opposed? We are adjourned.
Thank you.